Hey guys, hey, this is the weightlifting therapist coming back at you again. One of the things I want to address, I think a lot of people in society are kind of in the dark about, are what is state hospital like. So when I mention state hospital to parents, because I'm just coming at this from a perspective of working with adolescents, I mention state hospital to parents, a lot of times they get really scared, they get really spooked out, they start picturing just basically what you would think of as an insane asylum, just locking people in a padded room, closing the door, throwing away the key, people scratching at the doors, no one really treating them, just housing them there and keeping them from society. And honestly, that was the way mental health used to be addressed and handled at past times in history. And so even for a lot of the parents I work with, they still are of that age where that was their reality. And especially, if a family member or a friend was sent to a state institution or a state mental hospital or a state asylum, that was something that the family didn't talk about. That's not something you share with other people. And so that just breeds more and more of this kind of, honest to goodness ignorance about what a state hospital's role is, what it's like. And that ignorance supplies fear, creates fear. So a lot of times, I'm not the direct person that does treatment at state hospitals. I'm a step down below. So at the place I work at, we do stabilization. We try to stabilize kids and stabilize patients. We work with adults too. And if you're a kid, you have to be referred by a psychiatrist and you'd be sent to the state hospital if the health and welfare or child services, children's mental health, whatever that may be for your state, they would come in and assess and determine the need. And if that need was met, if they felt the state hospital was warranted, they would go ahead and let us know when they could take the kid, and they would transport the kid themselves. And they usually stay up there for about 30 to 45 days, 45 days at the most. But they do have the option to keep those kids longer, where it's kind of viewed as poor treatment if we keep somebody who's not getting better, we keep them too long at our hospital. Insurance and just the standard of care views that as, we're not doing our due diligence. We're a stabilization place, and we're not set up for long-term treatment. Where state hospital could do a little bit better job of the longer-term, more intensive treatment. So aside from kind of combating a lot of the ignorance and the fear relating to state, it's especially nowadays, it's not the stereotype that it makes it out to be. State hospitals, they're usually just run, are basically the state's version of a residential treatment center. So the same line of thinking for private residential treatment centers, inpatient treatment. A lot of people tend to think of inpatient treatment as rehab. Well, it's not substance specific, but it is an inpatient, a little bit longer term setting. A lot of the kids I work with actually like going there. Sometimes the kids that have gone there and come back, they like it. They get field trips. They get to more one-on-one time with counselors and psychiatrists. They do well up there. Honestly, here in Idaho, some of the expectations and the standards up there are a little bit more strict. And if someone's going to act out or is threatening themselves or others, or they're actually going into a code which is becoming violent, physically violent on the unit, they do respond a lot quicker and usually with a little bit more force. I think they have other options outside of just medication for restraints. I think they still have restraint chairs, but they're kind of viewed as the last little stop for adolescents, for kids. And so sometimes they do get some really tough cases up there. Last thing I want to address, the adult side of things, it's a little bit different. You can't just get a referral from a psychiatrist and be evaluated by, Human Services, Health and Welfare, and be sent up there. It's a little different process. So if you come into our hospital and you're an adult, and you were threatening suicide, or you are demonstrating some kind of delusions or psychosis, or just whatever bringing you into a psych hospital, sometimes you'll get placed on a hold by a doctor. A physician will actually place a temporary hold on you, where you don't have the freedom to come and go as you want. It's really tough for adults. And at least here in Idaho, you'd be evaluated by two different sets of designated examiners who would determine if you needed to stay committed, stay on that hold, and if they both agreed and they gave you a positive that yes, this person does need to remain on a temporary mental health hold, you would actually go before a judge. You'd go to court, and that court would determine whether or not you go to state hospital or not. So they could cancel it right there, or they could send you to state hospital. So state hospital for adults is a little bit different. I think the length of stay is roughly about the same for kids, but they definitely keep, I have seen adults stay up there quite a bit longer than most of the kids. So it's a lot different. There's a whole legal side of things that we don't deal with in the adolescents. But state hospitals are not what they used to be. It's definitely more treatment focused. It's used as one of the last stops on the road as far as keeping somebody in a secure setting. It's state funded, state run, and usually they do a lot of good work up there. Some kids do better up there, some kids don't. One of the case that I observed on the unit with the teens is, it's really frustrating. The person was actually, I would say more, the term we use is, developmentally disabled, way lower functioning level. I don't think it's so much a mental health or suicidality problem as much as it is a really low functioning level. And they sent that kid up there, didn't go well, got kind of bullied by the other kids. So it's, for what it does, state hospital is appropriate and it does a really good job. And I assume most other states have their own version of this, but if it's used in a setting that's not appropriate, for a kid that's just a behavioral, lower functioning level, that's not really what state is there for. Its main goal is just to further more intensive stabilization than what we can offer at an acute psychiatric hospital. So anyhow, guys, there's just some few insights on state hospitals. It's definitely not what it's made out to be. A lot of people have been through them. We cycle a lot of people through those, and we do a lot of good work with them. We have a good relationship with the health and welfare, children's mental health, and adults inpatient services up there. So anyhow, guys, if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. I'll keep updating you guys as I go along.